This report from UBS reveals that you don't need a high salary to become a millionaire. In fact, as a financial coach, I've seen people earning an average salary, becoming financially free, and retiring early just by managing their money like Europe's top 1%. So in this video, I will show you exactly how wealthy Europeans manage their finances and how you can use the same strategies to build wealth like them and retire early. And let's start with a question we've all asked at some point. What do rich people even do with all that money? The good news is we don't have to guess. Every year, detailed reports come out analyzing the financial habits of high net worth individuals, how they spend, invest, and grow their wealth. So what do they actually do with all their money? Well, if we look at Europe's top 1%, most of their money is invested, mainly in real estate, investment funds, and stocks. But here's what's interesting. When you compare them to North American millionaires, their portfolios perform way worse. We're talking about average returns of 8.9% in North America versus only 0.7% in Europe. That's not even enough to keep up with inflation. So why are they getting better results? It all comes down to strategy. European millionaires focus on preserving wealth through real estate and funds. North Americans focus on growing wealth, putting more into stocks. And this difference completely changes the result you get. So the first learning from this report is that if your goal is to build wealth and maybe even retire early, this second approach is definitely the best one. But investing isn't the only thing these reports tell you. They also show how millionaires spend their money. And what might surprise you is that millionaires actually pay a lot of attention to how they spend their money. Truth is, inflation hits everyone, even the rich. So instead of spending lots of money just because they can, they're actually controlling their expenses. Because even when you have millions, growing your wealth still requires good money management. That's the second big learning from the report. Always keep your spending under control. So how can you manage your money like a millionaire? Let's be honest, you and I don't have millions to invest. We can't copy their strategies exactly, but we can apply the same principles. And that's where the 15-55-30 rule comes in. So let's start with the 15%, probably the best part of this rule. Think of it like dieting. If your diet is too strict, sure, you might hold it together the first week, but by week 2, the cravings kick in. You start resenting it, and eventually you break because it's just not sustainable. On the flip side, if there are no rules at all, you never make any real progress. You stay stuck in the same habits, and deep down, you know it's not working. Money works the exact same way. Cut back too much, and life starts to feel like a punishment because you don't get to enjoy anything. But if you spend all your money every time you think, oh come on, I deserve this, your savings will be gone on a moment's notice. So you're stuck in survival mode, paycheck to paycheck, wondering where it all went. And honestly, even millionaires are tightening their budgets right now. So yeah, we all need to find the right balance. That's where the 15% comes in. It's your guilt-free money. What does this mean? It means you take 15% of your income and use it however you want. No guilt, no remorse. You want to eat out every day? Fine. You want to travel? Go for it. As long as it fits your 15%, you can enjoy it without stress. Because you work hard for your money, and you deserve to enjoy it. And 15% can go a long way. If you make 60,000 euros a year, that's 9,000 euros you can spend just for fun. Then comes the 55%. The biggest part of your income. And no, unfortunately, it's not more guilt-free money. Every month, I watch groceries, rent, and taxes devour my paycheck. And it's frustrating because prices only seem to go up. I'm sure you feel the same. Just recently, a friend from Poland told me their electricity bill more than doubled in the last few years, which is crazy. But that's the reality for most of us when it comes to fixed expenses. That's why I told him about the 55% rule, meaning 55% of your income should cover fixed expenses like rent, bills, groceries, and transportation. But how does this actually help you? Clearly, It doesn't actively reduce your expenses, but it gives you awareness on your fixed expenses. Because if they're over 55%, it's a red flag. Maybe your rent is too high. Maybe your car is draining your budget. Maybe you're stuck in a lifestyle that uses up all your money. This rule is like a warning light on your car. It tells you something's off and you should adjust something. Then sure, in cities like London or Milan, it's harder to stick to this 55%. And that's okay. The goal isn't to hit the 55% perfectly, it's to stay in control of your spending. Finally, the 30%. This is the part that actually builds wealth. And it's where Europe's top 1% really makes the difference. First, they always keep some cash available. Think of finances like a house. Without solid foundations, everything collapses. This available cash is their foundation that they can use in case of need. But they don't use this money just for emergencies, but also for big purchases like a car or a down payment, so that they don't have to touch their investments. Because selling investments slows down growth and makes you pay more taxes. But most importantly, they invest the rest of their money. That's where the real growth happens. And the good news, you don't have to be a millionaire to do the same. You can just follow the 30% rule. So how does it work? The rule says to save and invest 30% of your income. Now, how you split that 30% depends on you and your goals. But before you start investing, your first priority should be to build an emergency fund covering at least 3 months of living expenses. This is the foundation of your house. It protects you from unexpected expenses like losing your job or your car breaking down. Without this safety net, emergencies could throw you into debt or oblige you to sell your investments. Once your emergency fund is in place, you can use the 30% for 2 main things. Number 1, saving for short-term goals like buying a house, a holiday, or a car. And number 2, investing for the long term to grow your wealth. Saving is simple. Automate a transfer to your savings account as soon as you receive your paycheck. And investing can be just as simple if you know what you're doing. Now, most European millionaires focus on real estate, which is good to preserve capital, but it takes a lot of effort and the returns are not that great. So if your goal is to build wealth, I would rather follow the North American example we saw earlier in the video. Invest in the stock market. And the best way to do that is to invest in ETFs. They're low cost, diversified, and easy to manage. You only need a couple minutes per month. And it's the strategy even the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett, recommends. But investing the wrong way could cost you tens of thousands of euros. That's why it's so important to know exactly what you're doing before you start. I've already helped many Europeans start investing and building portfolios that match their goals and deliver great results so that they can become financially independent and retire early. So if you want to do the same, watch this playlist where I'll show you everything you need to have great results in just a couple minutes per month.